Welcome to another Enjoying Art Member Painting Hour. If you are a member of Enjoying Art, please plan to join us every Friday. In this hour, we're going to paint a watercolor painting of a beach, and we're going to add the man as the focal point. Before you start it, please give this video a like, share with your friends. If this is the first time here, please subscribe and turn on notification. I'm going to put the person over here, and that would be the center of the attention. So now I'm going to mix a little gray color. You just take the red color and the blue color, and you got the color you want. That's very simple. That's good. Make sure you have enough paint, and maybe it's just one time you can get all over the place. Okay, now I'm going to take a look. Start from the top over here. Here you go. My paper is about 10 to 15 degree up on the top. Now I'm gonna looking for, keep coming down. Have a flat brush like this, large enough. It actually very efficient. So the little soft light color, I will leave it up on the top. But now I'm gonna coming down over here. Now pay attention. On this side, I'm going to still a little bit lower, like that. On this side, I'm going to leave the water at the front over here to untouch it. Okay, like that. Now that's good. You need to leave. Now I'm going to let go my finger. Now I'm going to continue. Maybe have a little bit more blue on the beach. Now I'm going to coming down and like this. I'm going to leave the beach over here. I'm gonna have a little bit more blue. I'm gonna just take the blue directly, just merge into here. That's good. I like that. And coming over here, and that's the beach color. Now it's the first step accomplished. And right at this time, I think I'm gonna leave up this light color, a little bit soft light, after it dries, not at this point. So after this, I can take a little short break and let the paper dry. So next step of the process, I'm gonna lift up the little soft color right here. Okay, I'm gonna lift up a little light. So after it dries, always feeling easier to lift up the colors or add color. So I'm gonna just use this way and softly make sure you have enough water. Just move on left and right, so you get a little feeling of soft mist in the background here. I'm gonna have a little bit on the top over here too, because the water and create that is how easy. Yes, make a little soft, and that probably already good enough. And when we have the darker color next to it, it was showing it lighter, because we're gonna add a little bit very soft, very distant colors a little bit later. Okay, I'm gonna put over here. Okay, this can be a little bit softer too. So a little bit, lift a little bit. And this brush, it actually have lots of hair in it, so it's going to much easier than you use a round brush. Okay, that's good, right? And this texture, I may want to keep it, I may want to let it go, but I'm going to show you how to let it go. It's very easy. Just same thing. Just use the this flat brush. Just soften it over here. You can make a little bit more smooth. So if you don't want that texture. And at the same time over here, if you want to overlay the color to change the feeling of the color, you can do that too. Like I say, I'm gonna put a little blue colors. Okay, it doesn't mean that I really need the blue color, but if you want to add the blue color, it just put a little light blue color on the top, and the texture will look much better now, right? And now at this point, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna paint it the sand color. It's important to make up all the areas with color first and come back to do the big adjustment. Okay, what I'm going to do, this is still, oh, this is a little wet. I'm going to use the tissues and just put it like this. You don't want to scratch the paper. It just leave up a little wet, okay? Because I'm not going to get into the situation to have it too much fading in, but this is okay. Have a little wet, that's fine. Okay, now I'm going to come back with my flat brush. The flat brush actually is do probably more than 60% of the painting every time. I'm going to take the red and the yellow, so make up the orange color, and with the blue color, it make up the brown color. So that is a very simple math that, right? Maybe a little bit more blue because look a little bit too much orange. So maybe a little bit more blue, maybe a little bit more blue. Is that simple? Now, let's do it. Now I'm gonna put it right here. Here you go. And just think about how dark the color it should be. Not just think about the color, think about how dark the color you want it to be. It's also very crucial, right? So I'm gonna put it over here first, like that, and here you go. And I think should have a little bit more blue, so I'm gonna get a little bit more blue over here. So also make it a little bit darker. Okay, now I'm gonna put this color over, so I have a little bit darker color right here. And now I'm gonna change the brush. I'm gonna need to use a calligraphy brush because the shape I want a little bit more, a little bit smaller, a little bit more control. So I'm using this small calligraphy brush. Now I'm gonna mix a little bit yellow and red to here. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna come back here. Now look at the top. That's the beach starwood. That's good. And like that. And we talk about that is can come in a little bit. Like this. And see this. Very, very nice. Very accurate shape. If you want that. I'm gonna have a little bit blue color now. And coming over here. Yeah, here you go. Like this. Okay, coming in over here. Now here you go. There. And now take a look here. I'm gonna have this even a little bit more gray. Now take a look. And the person is gonna standing over here. So I'm gonna have this all the way coming through the body. So like this. Try to just one time you can have that, and that's interesting, right? And the person standing right over here, so maybe a little bit off on this side. Oh, a little bit soft fade that even make it more interesting. Okay, that's good. Like that. That's good. Now I'm going to have a little bit more blue color. Continue. I'm going to work on the edge over here. Now here you go. Now coming over here, it's soft. So when I try to have a little bit more natural transition, I actually putting my calligraphy brush a little bit lower, so I can have a little bit smooth transition already created automatically. So I'm gonna have a little bit over here. Here you go. You don't have to do exactly what it looked like in the reference. It maybe take a little risk. I'm gonna have a little red color in here, just like that, and here you go, like that, and coming over here, it's nice transition, making more interesting. Now this is good. Now I'm gonna just the clean brush. I open up a little bit. I'm gonna have a little bit soft transition onto the areas of the scene. And now I'm going to just use a little bit more just the blue color. I'm going to have this coming out like this. Have a little bit out. A little bit soft. Okay, like that. Maybe over here too. Have a little bit soft. Have a little bit soft. But have the brush on that again. And this I'm going to lift up a little bit. I think it's a little bit too much fade. I'm going to lift up a little bit, but everything looks good. Looks good at this point. And I'm going to pause it. I'm going to come back to continue after it settles a little bit, right? I'm going to start making up the distance. I'm gonna over here have a little bit kind of blue-gray colors. So to mix the blue-gray color, just take a look at this color, a little blue, and maybe have a little bit more red, should add into here. And all the color I have is mixed from the 3 primary colors. So it's very easy to recognize what color it will be. There will be too much red, too gray. So I'm gonna have a little bit more blue. So that color is fine. You can see that there's a fine color. Okay, this good. So I'm gonna put over here. Think about how dark that color is supposed to be. So this is the top of the water. So I'm gonna tap a little bit over here. So the tap of the water. Oh, that little bit too dark. So I'm gonna let the water come in. Have a little bit blue over here. So this is probably better color. Now I'm gonna try again. Okay. Now put over here like that. Right. That's very soft. And have a little bit suggestion that the distance, a little mountain over there. If that's a little bit too dark, and you still can lift it up if you want. Okay, like this. Make it a little soft coming over here and connect to the side over here like that. I'm gonna have maybe add a little bit higher, a little bit lower like this. Like that. Make it a little fun. Okay, that's good. Now, after you do this, what I would do, I'm gonna just clean the brush. I'm gonna actually lift up a little bit, make this even a little bit lighter. Okay, like this. So don't want it to jump out from a distance too much. I'm gonna clean my brush, and maybe here a little bit softer. And now, more important, I'm gonna have the bottom over here a little bit softer, because I did not make too much colors onto the paper. It's the color considered very thin, what I just put on, right? So it's very easy, just a little bit soften, and you have a very nice transition at the bottom. So knowing this is already wet, a little wet over here, so you don't want to put that color in here for the little darker layer. So now I'm going to come into the right side and give it a few minutes and it would dry, right? I'm sure you still remember what I just did. So I'm going to do it on this side, a little bit darker on top of this, right here. I'm going to come here first. Now take a look. That's the top of the water, like that. And that's nice. I consider this will be my official brush. And if you really want to copy the way I do things, if you use the same color I use, the same brush that I use, it will be easier to understand the way I use this. Okay, that's good. I put a little color over here, like that. And I'm gonna keep that a little wave feeling. I'm gonna put a little bit over here like that. And I'm gonna come back to do a little details in here a little bit later. So now it looks like this has come out a little bit too much. I'm gonna just soften that and make it come down a little bit and make it a little bit soft. So if you're still there, that's fine. It's okay. Okay, now soften that a little bit, come back. Oh, that's good. Now I'm going to also give a little suggestions over. I'm going to soften this first, a little bit softer, right? Just be calm and don't panic. Never should be panic. It's always a way to fix it. So the same blue color, and have a little blue color over here, and I'm going to put it under the at the front over here like that. You're going to see that there's a little color. And here you go. Now like this. That's good. I have that color like this, a little bit soft. So now I'm gonna just wash the brush, just the clean, no color, and just use it and coming to over here. Nice. That's very simple. And I'm gonna have the color a little bit darker over here. Tap on it a little bit darker. This get a little bit closer and closer to us. Yeah, that's good. Right, that's a little bit good. Now that's good. Have that soft blending coming down here. Now at this point, this is already getting dry, but I'm gonna wait a couple minutes. This layer can be a little bit darker, as this similar characteristic, it have a soft at the bottom. So I'm gonna paint in the top first. So take a look at that. That is a little bit darker than the distance. So I'm gonna take a look at that. I'm gonna mix it with the warm color, so make it feel like a little bit gray. But this value maybe is good enough already, but we're gonna see. And we're gonna take a look over here, and just about the mist. So it's about right here. Put it down. Oh, it may be too dark, so I'm gonna just add a little water to my brush. Now here you go, like that. That's good. Right over here. And now on this side, and let it come a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna wash my brush. I'm gonna move this color a little bit toward over here if I want it to be a little bit lighter, right? Like a little bit. That's good. That's good. Now the bottom need to be a bit softer. Just use the brush, just clean the brush. Just one time, it actually good enough. Like that. That is nice transition at the bottom. So that is success. And maybe at this point, I also going to have a little vertical line. So I'm gonna take the same color, a very small amount of same color. This calligraphy brush, you don't have to use multiple brush. You very much simplified it. Either the flat brush for the most area, the focus in the big composition, right? And then with this brush, you're very much taking care of something really, really tiny line, like over here. Like I'm gonna have a little, very tiny. You don't need to think about to get even smaller brush to work on here. And a little bit. That's good. Avoid a little bit vertical line, and maybe a little line over here. You see that? You very much don't really need anything else if you have the flat brush and the calligraphy brush. That's the beauty of it. I like simplistic. I don't want to have too many things, especially when you travel. You don't really want to carry that much. Okay, that's good, right? So I have the detail over there. That's good. Now I'm going to come back to the water, the wave. Okay, now I'm going to come over here. Now I'm going to have a little bit, a small detail line. Let's take a look. Like that. That's good. Like that. It's a little soft, small line like this. And look for the information. Now I'm going to also add for something a little bit more blue. Now I'm gonna have a little bit kind of dots and have a little feeling of the water edge like that, and that creates some nice representation of the wave moving. And actually over here I'm gonna have the color coming in here a little bit like that. So those are a very simple thing. You may be thinking about, yeah, what you're saying. It's simple. If you think simple, it actually becomes simple for you. I don't know why that happened, but it just, if you think difficult, you make it difficult for you. And you probably think about who wants that. And some people just want it. I just don't know why. And I'm asking you to make it think about simple. You just don't think about simple. You always think about complicated. Okay. I'm gonna something even darker over here, just a little tiny area. That's good. Already, I'm gonna have a little bit darker area here. That is too parallel to that, so I'm gonna move a little bit. Okay, a little bit over here. Now also on the beach over here, I'm gonna have a little very thin line at this area. You want to see very small line. You know how to get this brush, right? So if you want it, just order it. You still have it. Okay, now that's good. Now I think the water is already there, have enough details. Now I'm going to work on the adjusting the colors before I put the main object, the man, in the painting. We already have the color that it needs to be on the paintings already there. We just going to come back. When we're doing the adjusting, you need to use the large brush, not the calligraphy brush. Now what I'm going to do first thing, I'm going to have this a little bit softer. Just use the water. And when you do the adjusting, it's basically three things you want to look for. One thing is that the edges is proper. It's there need to be hard edge, soft edges. Is there yet? And the second thing you want to look for is the color need to darker or lighter, or more blue or more yellow or more red. You want to do the glazing to get that color or the value correctly onto the painting. Okay, now I'm gonna make this a little bit softer. Somewhere need to be lighter. You need to lift it up to make it a little bit lighter. So I got on the top over here, I want it to have a little bit more blue, like that. I'm gonna have a little bit more blue, but not too pure blue. So I'm gonna mix with this color. Now let's take a look. I'm gonna have this color. Just use the brush. You see that? You make a little more representation. That's good. Now I'm gonna have this color over here too. I'm gonna have it a little bit softer coming out like that on the outside. So this is a very simple adjusting. So the color, now I'm gonna make this a little bit softer. Just always leave it as a one step for you in the process before you're finishing up your painting. That would be adjusting. Okay, like that. That's just good. I'm gonna have this a little bit softer over here. Now I'm gonna looking at the beach. I think the beach overall I need to have a little bit more blue on the top over here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit over here, like a little bit blue, because this is adjusting. You don't have to be very precise, but you need to be focused on how the color actually work from one area to the other areas. Focus on that. That's good, right? Now I'm gonna over here, I'm gonna have a little bit color coming out over here too. I want this a little bit softer. So this time it's very important for the success of the painting, but it's also very relaxing to do because you already have the foundation on the painting. Now I'm going to looking for the beach need to be a little bit darker. Okay, over here. And I'm gonna make a little bit red under here, right? Now make it a little bit dimmer. Now it's very easy to do a little overlay wash, and at this point it's coming like this, and then coming down over here, we want to have some even darker, a little bit more blue. So now add a little blue color over here. Now coming back to the top like that. I think the color much stronger than before with this simple touch like that. Right. Now looking at the overall, is there anything else you want to make changes at this point? I think I'm over here. I want to leave this a little bit light. I connect to the background over here, so I'm gonna do a little bit touching. And most of the time I don't need to use the white color, and just use the watercolor. Lift up overlay, create a contrast. It's very easy. Okay, they're actually good. Okay, like that. Make it a little softer. I think the painting looks good, and I'm going to wait until the whole thing dries. I'm going to put the main object to the painting. I have a little bit gray color, and in the edge over here I'm going to have a little bit thin line. It's okay. Take care of your family. You know we hear you, right? And I'm going to have a little bit gray color and on the water over here too. So seeing a little bit shape, small shape onto the water surface. That's good. Just a little adjusting like that. That's much better. I'm gonna add a little bit light blue color over here. I'm gonna reshape this area. You see that? This pretty close to me because I want to have this a little bit more as a shape coming over here and like that, and have a little bit coming on this side. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna soften the edge over here again. Now also gonna have a little bit color on this side. I think it needs to be a little bit darker with this light blue gray color. Gonna have a little bit over here like that. Maybe a little bit over here. Just and have this color coming in over here. And maybe this a little bit blue. Okay. That's good. Now the adjusting, consider, is well done. Okay, I'm going to paint the man. If you need to have a pencil to draw out the shape, you can do that. But you only try to do it once because not much back and forth changes. Okay, now I mix this a little bit darker color. The darkest color actually in the silhouette of the man on the beach. So I'm gonna take this color. That's good. I think that's good enough. Use the calligraphy brush, can give you a better confidence. Now I'm gonna looking at the body of the man. I'm gonna put it here, and the head over there. So I'm gonna start from the head right over here. I'm gonna put the head a little bit later. I'm gonna take a look at the body. Just put over here first, and we come back to finish it. So look like the leg should be here, about this big, and take a look at that. It's just roughly, and put the color in first, and not the leg over here. I think the body can be a little bit longer. Now that's good, and bear with me. And then this leg. And I'm gonna have one on this side like that. Pay attention to that. That's good. Now this is the foot at the bottom. On this one, I'm gonna have the leg coming over here, and this one is up a little bit like that. That's good. Simple. Now I'll come back over here. I'm gonna add a little bit blue color to the shape. Okay. Now I can try to finish the shape of the man. Now I'm gonna come back to, this is the head. The head can be a little bit bigger. Now the shoulder can open a little bit because what I did is to create a testing of the whole shape. Now I'm gonna have the hand coming down here. That's good. And now on this side, this arm, here you go. I have a little gap in between. Have the hand over here. Here you go. Like that. That's nice. And then take a look at there's a stick that he's holding. And think about from here to here, just make it one time. That's good enough, right? Now, it's very much the shape of the man is already there. So I'm gonna put the head on the top of the head. I'll put it like that. Okay, the shoulder, fix the shoulder shape a little bit, and the shoulder shape a little bit more open a little bit, like that. That's good. And this, open up a little bit. Right, now I have this person. Now I'm gonna working on the reflection. The reflection coming down from here, and here you go, and start getting a little bit softer because into the water. And over here have a little bit gap, and like that, and move a little bit for the reflection. And now get down to the bottom over here. I'm gonna have a little bit water. I'm gonna let it a little bit lighter, a little bit softer, like that. Come to the edge. And also on the stick, also have a little bit coming this way, coming a little bit softer and softer when it away from the object a lot more and more, like that. And keep a little edge on the beach. Now I'm going to use just the clean brush and have a little bit soft on the edge over here, like that. And I'm feeling that it's kind of like it get a little bit distorted. Okay, that's the reflection. Okay, now you take a look at, and on the top over here, just refill the same color. The top over here a little bit. The shoulder open up a little bit more, like that. There's a little bit more for the arm, and this a little bit more for the hand. And I think it's good. I think I call this painting finished. If you like this kind of painting, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends. If this is your first time here, please subscribe, turn on notification so you won't miss any future video like this from Enjoying Art. I will see you in my next video.